This Week in Startups is brought to you by Vettery, hiring marketplace that connects top tech talent with growing companies. Vettery's How to Hire ebook is available to Twist listeners for free at vettery.com/startup. vettery.com/startup. DigitalOcean, providing the easiest cloud platform to deploy, manage, and scale applications. Sign up today and receive a free $100 credit at do.co/twist. And Four Sigmatic, awaken your mind and support your well-being. Special offer for Twist, 15% off foursigmatic.com/twist, or use discount code TWIST at checkout.
So we're trying to do a bunch of one to few events. We do some big ones like Launch Festival and Launch Scale, but I don't get to meet anybody except when 50 people walk me to the bathroom and then 3 of them take the urinals next to me and we proceed to do urinal pitches. Just super unfair on a gender basis and super creepy. I don't think female investors have to deal with this, but for some reason, you insane men think it's appropriate to pitch me at the urinal. That's a good thing, getting pitched as an angel investor. That's what you want. You never underestimate anyone. That's the number one rule of angel investing. I've had people come to the conferences when they're in high school, tell me they were going to change the world. I say, what are you working on? They're like, I have 18 ideas. I'm like, great, let me know when one of them becomes a product. And sure enough, next thing I know, they're at a founder university. And next thing I know, they're in the incubator. And the next thing I know, we've invested $1 million in them. So we have a nice little funnel here at This Week in Startups and Launch. Launch is the name of our investment company. And the way that funnel works is we have a managing director. Her name is Jackie. She does all the free stuff we do, whether it's This Week in Startups or Launch, Founder University or Launch Festival, which is in Sydney last year and this year. We'll be coming back or to another city next year. Scale, all those great things. After that, we have our accelerator. We did about 30 companies this year. We'll do 50 next year. Put 100,000 into each company, just like Techstars or Y Combinator. And then after that, we have our syndicate, which originally started with about 300,000 per deal. And now over time, we've seen it go up to as much as 2.5 million, which makes us somewhere between a large angel investor or a seed fund or a small venture investment. So we can, if you think about what we do now, 8 years into my angel investing and 10 years into This Week in Startups, what we do is we meet people through the free content. We try to be as inclusive as possible. We don't charge for tickets. We let everybody come for free. We don't charge for the podcast. And then maybe we meet some people who are actually executing at a high level. We put a little small bet in of 100K, then maybe a big bet of 500,000, and then maybe a huge bet of 2 or 3 million, at least huge for us. And that's worked out pretty well. We've done about 200 investments. In the first 125, 6 have become unicorns. That's like a 1 every 20 average, which sounds terrible. Like 19 out of 20 times you don't hit a home run. But in our world, hitting a home run is worth like, a lot of points. It'd be as if a half-court shot in the NBA was worth 50 points. And Steph Curry would never cross the half-court line. He would just, Klay Thompson and him would stay back there and hit 5 a game, and they would win 250 to 100. So that's what we do for a living. I'm really excited to meet y'all. Feel free to give me a nice fist bump after. You don't want to shake this hand. It's a Petri dish. One of my kids is sick, and inevitably, when you shake my hand, it's going to be the 50th hand that I've shaken today. So if you really want to shake 50 people's hands, I'm open to it. Okay, so Jackie, we're going to have 3 people pitch me in a row.
Can we get Darryl, Elyse, and Bill up here, please?
Let's give them a big round of applause. All right.
Darryl, you're going first. Stand here, please. Elyse, Bill, you're second, and then Elyse, your third.
And lead off batter. Here we go. Get on base. So the format's going to be pretty simple. You're going to have 90 seconds to pitch. Are they using decks or are they just going to give me their idea? Perfect. And then after all 3 go, I'm going to take notes and I'm going to ask them, do they want to take the red or the blue pill? they take the blue pill, I'm going to tell them, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Red.
You are fantastic. Nobody can ever stop you in this life. If they take the red pill, I'm going to just give them the straight dope and tell them the honest truth, unvarnished, what I think of the idea and what I think the investors who come after me will think of the idea. And then I'll even decode what the downstream investors from angels will say, because they will not tell you the truth often. They'll tell you you're awesome and keep in touch, and then I'll translate all that. We're going to have all three go in a row, and Jackie's going to set the clock. When we have 10 seconds left, you're going to hear these wood clackers go. Or we will hear, we might have the wood clackers. These are my favorite thing. We do, okay. So we get those wood clackers. And if not, Jackie will just clap her hands. Oh, there we got the wood clackers. Okay, so you're going to hear a very rhythmic, soothing sound like this. It's a little too fast. Let's put a little bit of a space in between. Just a smoothing clack like this means you have 10 seconds left. Perfect. When you do it like, da-da, people just, yeah. Okay. Are you ready, sir? Tell us your name.
Darryl Davis, Rockridge Mobile Health.
Got you. Where are you from? Originally and now?
Colorado and the East Bay.
Okay. Well done. 3, 2, go.
We've all heard of the saying, if you can't measure it, you can't
manage it.
That's never been more true when it comes to our health. Raise your hand in here if you know how much you weigh. Keep your hand up if you know what your oral plaque score is. Tooth decay is the most common chronic illness known to man. It's 20 times more likely than diabetes. It affects every aspect of our lives, the way we eat, the way we sleep, the way we play, the way we learn. It negatively affects other chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and even mental health. The plaque detector application is free in the iOS store and Android. Patients upload 3 standard pics to their dental office using our HIPAA-compliant secure server in the cloud. Practitioners are able to give you remote diagnostics, consultation, and supervision. We charge the dental office $250 per month. We've got 1 dentist live in Berkeley. We've got a letter of intent for 600 dental centers in California. We're partnered with Columbia University Dental School. Darryl Davis, Rockridge Mobile Health.
Okay, well done. Next, you can pass the microphone. I'm going to give you feedback as a group. Tell us your name.
Bill DeZenzo?
Correct. Bill, where are you from?
Originally New Jersey, originally Montclair, New Jersey.
Montclair, New Jersey.
And Oakland, California now.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, and now in Oaktown, Oakland.
That's right.
You figured out you got to cross the bay somehow.
Pretty easy.
Really? You took the BART?
I did.
All right, it's still alive. Okay, you made it. 3, 2, go.
Hi, my company is Taxnexus, and we are the cannabis tax compliance company. The problem is rampant tax noncompliance throughout the industry due to the very difficult tax regimens imposed upon the industry. And without an API that does specialty tax like you have in other big industries like telecom and energy, you end up with tax regulation issues. And that results in the regulators not receiving the money that they're supposed to receive in revenue and puts the cannabis industry companies in jeopardy. The solution is Taxnexus's automated tax compliance solution for cannabis, which includes our 3 products, Citus, Base, and Returns. The Citus does point-of-sale, accurate point-of-sale tax calculation. Then we store that information according to regulations in the cloud. And at the end of the tax cycle, we fill out the forms for them with our tax form generator and file their forms with all the jurisdictions that they need to file. Our strategy is B2B to C. We have a SaaS model where our tax-paying customers pay a monthly fee and a filing fee for the filing services. The market is extremely huge. Our bottom-up TAM has us at a $1.2 billion market. We believe that we can get $200 million by then. We're asking for $420 at a $2 million pre, and we have a Silicon Valley team.
Let's hear it for Taxnexus. Okay.
I'm going to put the mic on the stand if that's all right, so I can
Absolutely.
demo the product.
Oh, you got a prop.
I've got a prop.
Okay, great. Tell us your name.
My name is Elyse Kaye, originally from Detroit, Michigan, now
wow.
San Francisco based.
Nice. They call that Newroid now, right?
Yeah,
the new Detroit.
Something like that.
You got that amazing Amazon HQ2 going up.
There's a
oh
lot
no,
of,
they dissed you guys.
There's
Sorry.
a lot of great things happening
subject,
there, but
right?
that's probably not it. And I'm probably here to discuss something that affects.
All right,
most
take it
people in this
easy.
room.
Clock hasn't started.
All
okay.
right.
You always know a good entrepreneur. They're just like, I'm just going to take every second I can get. All right, take it easy, Elyse. 90 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, now it's your time to shine.
Okay.
Go.
I'm Elyse Kaye. I'm the founder of Bloom Bras, which is a line of sports bras designed to lift, not squish, which I could tell affects most of you guys. So, average bra size in the US has risen from a 34B to a 34 double D in just 20 years, which means 70% of the women, active women in the US today are not able to walk into a store and buy a sports bra. For me, this was more of an engineering challenge versus a design flaw. So I brought people in from NASA, the shipping and packaging industry, as well as a corset designer who does all of the work for opera singers, ballerinas, Oprah, Aretha Franklin, people like that, to design a product that would adjust and be a comfortable solution to the majority of females that are out on the market today. So in my journey, I also created a sustainable factory. When we launched, we started shipping in March. We had over 300,000 people come through the Facebook page with no paid spend. We're outselling right now our largest size versus our smallest size, which means that we are now expanding the line, making us, as of this week, the most body-inclusive product that's on the market. For those of you who don't know what that means plus size is actually more common now than the straight sizes. So as we expand the line, we're going after breast cancer survivors, pre and post maternity, women over a certain age, and I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, well done. Let's give her a big round of applause. Hey everybody, I want to tell you how you can solve your hiring problems today by using Vettery. Vettery is an amazing marketplace that connects top tech talent with growing companies, and all the candidates are fully vetted by Vettery, get it, huh? Before they appear on the platform. A new batch of candidates appears every Monday morning for you to peruse and connect with. And if you're not on there, guess what? Your competitors are. So you need to get on Vettery, and you need to see these vetted candidates every Monday. Every Monday. It's great for startups or anyone looking to expand their tech team. And here's an incredible offer from them. They have created, Vettery, a how to hire ebook. And this is recruiting done from the top down, the bottom up. They've included contributions from a dozen venture capital firms, over 100 different startups and corporations. 50,000 interviews were analyzed, and 10,000 candidates gave their opinions and feedback. 2,000 hiring processes were evaluated in this new How to Hire, a founder's guide to recruiting. You're going to learn the best tricks to source top candidates on social media, job boards, and hiring marketplaces, huh? Interesting, huh? Hiring on social media. And structure bulletproof interview processes, evaluate candidates, and learn how to close the perfect hire, even when there are competing offers on the table, and there will be. So How to Hire gives you the tools to build and measure a successful process. You're going to need this ebook, and you're going to need it today. So I want you right now to stop what you're doing, unless you're driving down the 405, in which case, please keep driving. But when you get to your desktop, go to Vettery, Vettery.com/startup. Vettery.com/startup. Super easy to remember. And please go there now and get this free How to Hire ebook from Vettery. And thanks to Vettery for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups. That URL one more time, Vettery.com/startup. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode. So we'll have Rockridge Health come up first. I'm going to and I'm going to give you guys each a little bit of feedback on your product. You can take the microphone. We're going to hand it back and forth, in fact. So come on up, all three of you. We'll get you all on camera in case we choose to use this for This Week in Startups. Okay, so Rockridge did a great pitch. Everybody got super engaged. They used the pitch technique. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pitch technique and a little bit about the business. So on the pitch technique, he did the call and response, survey thing, and that got everybody in the room engaged. That's a very savvy way to start a pitch because it gets everybody off their phone and gets them engaged. Now, you better know the answer to the question you're about to answer, because if I'm like, how many people had dry oatmeal today? Come on, how many people had dry oatmeal? It's like a super problem, right? Dry oatmeal is... Nobody had dry oatmeal. Okay. It's a bit of a problem, right? So you have to make sure people raise their hands. But he knew that going in. Then after he did that first part of call and response, he educated us a bit about why plaque is important. And then he got into how it worked. So you were probably all sitting there saying, well, why is this important? Then he answered it. And then you're like, well, how does it work? Then he answered, take 3 pictures, sends it to somebody. So there was a great clarity. So I think you've either watched a lot of This Week in Startups and heard me critique other people's pitches, or you're just naturally great at it. And then he answered my question, which is traction. Hey, how's this going? Is it in the market? Tell me where you're at. And he said, oh yeah, I'm charging one dentist $500. I got another dental clinic online that has 600 locations. I started doing the math. Well, one clinic's $3,000 a year and $250 a month. So they probably charge for this. It probably keeps customers coming back in. So if they get, 2 or 3 customers out of this, the lifetime value of a customer probably makes them break even pretty quickly. And so I was really excited about it. How many full-time employees do you have?
2.
Perfect. Now, what I wanted to point out here is that he listened to my question and answered it. This is a breath of fresh air. Oh, my Lord. A founder who listened to the investor's question. My God. Is this your first or 5th startup?
6th.
Got it. I know that he's done 5 or more startups because he's a pro. And what's happening now in this relationship here, and it's turning into a little bit of a bromance, I'll be honest, is I'm starting to think, I could work with this guy. And he's going to answer my questions. And he's going to credibly do what he says, right? We are all in a credibility competition. It's called life. And in business is where credibility really becomes important because the stakes get higher. And what's happening is when you answer a question deftly, your credibility goes up. When you preemptively answer a question, your credibility goes up. When you meander, when you filibuster, when you seem scattered, when you don't listen to the question, credibility goes down. And in an investor's mind, and they won't tell you this, they're just thinking, I'm going to make 2 investments this year. Do I want to be in business with this person? What if I ask them for the P&L from last month and then they just go on an 18-minute answer about anything but what I just asked for? Like, this person's going to be difficult. They're literally thinking that. Because VCs, I'm not talking about angels, I'm talking about the people downstream, they're already rich. They don't need you, even though they do. In their minds, they think, you know what, there's enough great companies in Silicon Valley. If this person's too difficult, I will move on to the next. Be cognizant of that. I'm not saying you have to be likable. Many of the founders I've invested in, I'm not saying any names, are known to be difficult people who swing elbows around. And when you're standing next to them, you sometimes have to go like this, and the elbow goes by, and you're like, okay, I know that wasn't intended for me, but I almost broke my nose. So let me ask this. How did you acquire the first dentist?
I knew him.
Perfect. Super short, super honest. So it's great when you can get a friend to actually do this. It also means, okay, we need to see what happens and how long it takes to get somebody who is not your friend. So what is your go-to market strategy to get the next 10 dentists?
Currently talking to Great Expectations Dental Centers. They have 289 locations.
Great. What is your technique to do this?
I pitch them on value. If we can raise the demographic from 19 to 39, 20% through visits because they engage with a mobile app, the dental office can generate a 500% return on investment based on our $250 a month price.
Great. I was asking more about like how do you get them, but I'm going to assume you call them on the phone.
Gotcha.
Okay. So go-to market, just so everybody knows the term in the industry, just means how do you take this product, this microphone, and find hosts of podcasts and get them to hold it. And this is a Sennheiser, which is like a world-class microphone. Thank you guys in the back. And They do online marketing. They do retargeting of ads. They probably give free products to influencers. You get the idea. All right. Let's pass the microphone. Let's talk a little bit about cannabis. So, again, a really solid pitch. We all know what Taxnexus does because you said it immediately. There's a big problem, and you took the problem statement first. A lot of people are not paying their taxes, and it's complicated, and there's regulation, and we all started going, okay, we're starting to nod. So when you get the audience nodding and they're buying into it, that's good. It means we're buying into you. Again, back to that credibility. And you did the bottom-up TAM. TAM, total addressable market. If you go, anybody here ever been to Y Combinator demo day? Okay, a couple people. It's hilarious. Like you go and they're just like, and this is a $5 trillion, and you're just like, and they're like, because we sell food, and it's like, okay, you sell peanuts, but you're counting your total addressable market as the $5 trillion TAM market in the United States. It's like, so everybody's going to just eat peanuts forever. And you're like, and that's typically like you go on the web, you search for total addressable market for blank food, and then Gartner Group got paid by some person to come up with a number. And what's critical in that sentence is they got paid by somebody who has an agenda to come up with a number. Often, the people going out to raise money, not in the startups case, but other folks, they'll like commission reports that give them the answer they want to hear. So it's not like it's independent research in any way. What's much better is a bottom-up. How do you do a bottom-up versus a top-down? The bottom-up would be, okay, we looked at the top 5 grocery chains. We looked at how much money they spend on peanuts. We went to their stores. We counted how many peanuts were on the shelves. Or we looked at the top 20 providers of wholesale peanuts. They move this amount, and some number of those go to peanut butter, but some of them go to actual peanuts in packages. So you would actually try to figure out from the bottom up. Another way to do it, we sell into dentists. Or we sell into the office manager of dental offices. So we went on LinkedIn and we looked in New York City and we looked in California and we found this many office managers in dental locations, and we correlated that with how many dentists there are in this Gartner report. And we thought, we're for the smaller size dentists, not the big ones. So for dentists that are single or dual practitioners, that's our sweet spot. We identified there's 17,000 of them. If we get half, we have 7,500, whatever it is, 8,000, and that's going to equal this amount. So that's a really intellectually rigorous and more honest approach. Bottom-up TAM builds much more credibility. It makes you look like you're savvy. And we understand it's a B to B to C. That's a great, clarifying moment. I'm not trying to sell to consumers. Consumers pay their taxes when they're at the point of sale. They don't need to worry about it. They're not putting how much cannabis on their tax returns.
Correct.
Although a cannabis deduction in San Francisco might be welcome. And then you have 3 parts of the product. That's when you got a little bit too deep into it. It was like, we get it. You do something, but yeah, point of sale, whatever, cloud. So it was solid. I'll ask you a question. How many customers, AKA people who pay you money, do you have? And when was the product launched?
We're actually pre-revenue currently. We're in the process of announcing our first 3 OEM partners, charter partners in Q1. Those are the point-of-sale software companies and ERP companies that cater directly to the cannabis industry.
Okay, so pre-revenue, no customers, but you're
Correct.
about to go to market.
Correct.
Okay, so product hasn't launched. How long did it take you to build the solution? How many full-time employees do you have?
We have 3 employees, founders, all working on spec. And it actually took many years to develop in the telecom industry. So this comes from telecom, which is a much more rigorous, tax-intensive industry. We proved it there. And then I got struck by lightning with the idea to do this when I realized that there was none of those big companies that do this for the other industries in the industry.
So he went on a little bit of a tangent there. I still didn't get the answer to how long did it take to build. I got the full-time employees, 3. I got the backstory. Great. Didn't ask for it, but still charming. Tell me, how long did it take to build?
I would say 3 years.
That includes the time you put into the telecom business?
Correct.
Okay.
1 year to do the cannabis aspect of it.
Got it. Okay. The reason I'm asking this question is twofold. we ask questions as investors just to get a feel for who you are and how you answer questions. And if you listen to the question, give me the answer to the question. And we also want the answer to the question. So that's important too. So here, I'm curious how long it took to build. But I probably could have guessed 6 to 18 months. It's typically the answer. 95% of the time, it's going to be somewhere between 6 to 18 months. So I'm literally asking the question just to get a read on the person. It's like we're at the poker table, and I'm like, you have aces? He's got no tells. This guy's good. But sometimes I'll just do that at the poker table. I'm like, I think you have aces. Or maybe you have 2-7. And I'm just like, I just pick the highest, the worst cards and the best cards in the deck just to get a reaction, right? Or, boy, do you seem confident. Or that was a quick call. I'm just trying to get a read. It doesn't matter what you say. I'm just trying to look at your throat or maybe your eyes or your eyebrows, just crunch your thing, maybe get a read on you. Okay, very good. If you want the easiest cloud platform in the world to deploy, manage, and scale your applications, you're in luck because DigitalOcean has you covered. Over 150,000 businesses use them, and that makes them one of Inc.'s world's fastest growing startups. You get free round-the-clock tech support, and that's for all customers, regardless of spend. And there's a huge community that shares resources and tutorials, so you're going to get right in there and be up and running very quickly. It's business ready, and it's ready to scale with you. They have very straightforward billing, and you're not going to get dinged because you're in a different geo than other people, and you're always going to know what you'll pay. You'll never get dinged with that surprise bill like other providers. And their flat pricing structure is critically important for you. You don't want to get dinged because you're in a different geo than other people. Here's an incredible customer testimonial from Content Ignite. Since moving to DigitalOcean, our setup is ultimately more capable than when we had before the migration. Downtime has become a rarity, and our hosting costs have decreased by more than, 90%? Incredible. I hear this all the time from my startups. They save a ton of money, and they get better service from DigitalOcean. I know this because Mitch Weiner, my pal, was on This Week in Startups 8 years ago in 2010 when he was in marketing. And he said, what should I do with my career, J-Cal? And I said, why don't you go to Techstars or Y Combinator or another incubator, find the best startup you can, and ask them if you can join. Well, he did. And he found DigitalOcean and he joined. Since that time, they've raised a ton of money from incredible venture firms like Andreessen Horowitz. And here is their offer just for the This Week in Startups community. You're going to get a C-note, $100 credit. Just go to do.co/twist. do.co/TWIST. That's cool that they got do.co. That's a good domain name. So do.co/twist. Grab that hundy, get that $100, put it in your pocket, go ahead and sign up for DigitalOcean. It's a great service. We use it. We love it. Congratulations to DigitalOcean and Mitch on all your tremendous success. And thanks for supporting This Week in Startups. That means a lot to me. Okay, let's get back to this incredible episode. Okay, Elyse. Bloom bras. I immediately thought, I get it, lift, not squish. That would be beneficial. I could see that. I just had a question that came up, which is why has breast size gone so much larger? Is it obesity? I'm sure other people had that, right? Other people were thinking that same thing, like.
So there's 3 reasons. Yeah. Obesity is one. Hormones. Girls, unfortunately, with the amount of hormones in our food,
like chicken,
they're developing earlier. And then vanity sizing. So places like Victoria's Secret have a thing called vanity sizing, which means if your measurements, it's actually science, if your measurements are, let's say, a 34 around and a 39 across, there's a size associated with that. Victoria's Secret knows that if you walk in and they tell you you're smaller around with larger breasts, you'll sell more product.
Wow.
You weren't expecting that answer, huh?
I wasn't. I mean, obesity is the obvious one because you would think more fat content would then people get bigger. They're just physically bigger. Then I was thinking, I did think hormones for a second, but I wasn't sure. I thought breast augmentation was going to be the other answer.
It's not as big as you would think.
Yeah.
The expectation.
And then I was thinking, but I did not think of the sizing that Victoria's Secret does, vanity sizing. Wow, that's interesting. Yep. I've got like 8 jokes, but I'm not making any of them.
You don't have
2018. 2018. No jokes, okay? What I didn't understand in the pitch, and the pitch was fine, we got it. I didn't get traction, like where are you at, how many have you sold? And I didn't get what's unique about your product, because you were like, oh, my product is so unique, but we didn't get why. Is it a new fabric? Is it a new fabrication technique? And that's gonna be the obvious next question. So one of the techniques you wanna do, you nailed the technique of, hey, here's something you don't know. Breast sizes are getting bigger, and we're just all wondering why. So that's like a great hook when you get investors, when you present them with a new piece of data, trend that they're not aware of. That's when you get them on the hook. Because if you're lucky enough to be in the position to write checks for a living, you're probably a curious person, and you've heard 20 pitches a week and read 200 emails a week with pitches in it. When you hear something new, you're like, oh, well, that's an interesting concept. Oh, the zombies can run? Oh, wow, that's a new genre-changing thing, 28 days, all of a sudden. Like, it is very much like that. You're kind of presenting them with a spin on something. So let's ask those two questions. One, what is the unique product? Is there some unique product innovation here, or is there some unique go-to-market innovation?
So I'll start with the first question. The utility patent is actually on the adjustable adjustable strap and cinching cup. So
here we go. We knew there was something interesting here, right?
Right?
Okay.
So it's designed, and this is what NASA was really beneficial with. It's designed to pull all the weight into this piece back here, distributed amongst a mesh panel. But in the front section, you'll see there's an adjustable strap, and then each cup has a cincher inside of it. So it works like a corset.
So now we got it. This is the unique innovation. But in the 90 seconds you had,
Yeah.
So you got to always think, well, what is my most efficient use of time? If we don't understand the unique product offering, like it takes 3 photos or we do it at the point of sale, you got to grab them on that as well. What's the unique product innovation here? Because if it's just a derivative product, which it's not, then we're going to immediately be like, what is the go-to market strategy for this product?
So we started with direct to consumer, all digital marketing, some viral video. We've now expanded, and we've been approached by QVC, HSN, Dia & Co, and Amazon.
Fantastic. Great. It's what I would expect. And how many have you sold to date?
To date, 1,700 since March.
Great. So once again, founders leave out or bury typically like the best part. I think you have more revenue than the other two, but you didn't take credit for it.
Probably.
1,700, and it goes for $100?
80.
So if it was 100, you will have sold 170,000, 20% less than that. You sold 140,000 in product or so.
Correct.
It cost you $22 to make one.
You're actually, well, less than that, but we'll go with that for right now.
What is it actually? Tell me.
So landed right now is 22, but that'll go down substantially once we have volume.
Jackie's like in the back, how does he do it? Here's the thing. I make 7 guesses in every presentation.
Yeah.
You only remember the one I get right.
Exactly.
It's like a classic notion. I went through all my tweets. I deleted all the predictions that are wrong. Only ones left are the right ones. Easy peasy, okay? So you make, let's just say with shipping and all this other stuff, yeah, you're going to make like $40 every time you sell one of these. So how have you funded the company to date?
Self-funded and Kickstarter.
Amazing. What did you raise in the Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, we did 36,000, but we raised our first 20 in 80 hours.
Amazing. So here we go. Credibility up, credibility up, credibility up. So what I would tell you about the 3 companies is, if I were to rank the pitches, they were in order, 1, 2, 3. And if I were to rank the business progress to date, it would be 3, 1, 2, obviously, just objectively. That's what anybody would rate them, just by sales. And so if you had to pick one or the other, you would pick the ones that have the most traction, not the ones that are best pitched. That being said, we start to look at now, and the next phase here would be, how big could this get? How big could it get? So with cannabis taxes, we can start figuring out that total addressable market. With dentists, we can start figuring that out. Maybe there's another product after the take 3 pictures. So all of them got me on the hook. All of them are a little early for our accelerator, but not far off. Like it might be 3 months off or 6 months off, depending on how they go, which is why we do these kind of things, is because we want to try to find these companies before everybody else. We want to support them more than everybody else. And then we want to own as much or more than anybody but the founders in the company, right? That's our strategy, to be totally candid. Let's give them a big round of applause. Tell us your concise question.
So the question is, we hear a lot about the startup world and delivering to market. I want to hear a little bit more about the prequel. What are the pedigree traits, technical skills that a CEO, or at least minimally founder, is looking for, and what would you advocate for in going out and seeking that education or those skill sets?
Great question. So there are different archetypes of founders, and different investors like different ones. I am of the opinion that resilient, dogged founders who don't give up and who are working on something that is truly meaningful to them is what I find to be most critical. And then there are a bunch of other sub-traits that are important, like the ability to lead people and hire people and get people to come on a crazy mission with you. Let's call that the Shackleton kind of effect. Like, can you get people to go on a really dangerous mission for a small amount of money? Which is what Shackleton did. He very famously put a want ad out. Going to the North Pole, incredibly arduous conditions, very low pay, high chance of death. Come on Sunday at 2 p.m. to interview. And I was like, wow, there's going to self-select. Like, oh, no money, chance of death, and arduous. And then it said like, and chance at glory, like low chance at glory, being the first to the North Pole. And if you were to ask me this question 15 or 20 years ago, it would be different than today. 15 or 20 years ago, when I came into the business, I was a media person, a journalist, and got sort of into tech in the early I was a tech journalist who then started tech publications, I guess is the way to say it. Anyway, at that time, when I was interviewing people, the trend I noticed was MIT, Harvard Business School, Stanford Business School, Stanford. So most people would say, if you went to one of those schools, you got into Y Combinator, MIT, you would get a job at a top VC firm, and a VC firm who had 3 Stanford PhDs walk in, or if 3 Stanford PhDs or masters or MBAs email you, you'd be like, we'll take that meeting, of course. Like, Stanford's down the street. We're on Sand Hill Road. So that's the old way. Then people, and then, the college dropout archetype, people leaving Harvard like Bill Gates did famously and Zuckerberg did. That's another archetype. What the statistics have shown since then is that 40-year-olds who are on their third company put up huge numbers, and that they actually create more unicorns than people who drop out of Harvard. We remember the people dropping out of Harvard, right? So this is this kind of interesting effect of memory. You're like, oh, Mark Pincus, Evan Williams, Elon Musk, and on and on and on, who are on David Sachs on their third startup or fourth startup. Oh, that's the one where they made the big win. So candidly, people with scar tissue who've done it a bunch of times are actually the ones who are likely to give you the best return. So when one of those person calls a VC, they get the meeting immediately. And when people, VCs are trying to court people, they're going to those people and just saying, hey, come over for dinner. Hey, let's go have sushi. What are you thinking about? And that's why they have the position of entrepreneur in residence. In terms of what you can work on yourself, going to work at a startup and being a key player who can move the needle at a startup is the best prerequisite today. So if you can go into Slack and be a growth manager, or the best CFO or finance person, or the best sales executive, or the best social media person, having some skill that you're just better than 90% of people at, and you've proven it inside a company that we know the name of, or you've been at 3 companies that all failed, and you can be like, wow, look at this strategy, here's what I learned. Either of those are good. Obviously, being on a winner is better. So that's what I recommend to a lot of young people today who are like, I don't have an idea, but I want to be in this. I'm like, get a skill, video editing, social media, growth, UX, project management, sales, pick one and just go in there and work 60, 70 hours a week, be the first person in the office, the last person to leave, and read every book you can on the subject, read every Medium, YouTube post, listen to every podcast, get all the mentors you can, and be great at something. And then when you start your company, you're like, yeah, I did product design at these 3 companies. 2 failed. One of them was Vine and eventually failed, but we got bought by Twitter. And that's my resume. It's like, okay, well, this person actually learned something in 6 years working on 3 different companies. So let's give them a big round of applause. Came home the other day and my wife Jade had made me this delicious coffee with Four Sigmatic, and it has mushrooms in it. Yes, lion's mane mushroom. And I said, I don't taste the mushroom, but I feel alert, I feel productive. Stuff is delicious. How did you find out about it? She said Tim Ferriss. My wife, she listens to Tim Ferriss's podcast. Sometimes she listens to mine. But I love this Four Sigmatic. I am crazy about it. I'm drinking it every day. Sometimes I have the hot cacao. Sometimes I have the coffee. Sometimes I mix the 2 and make a mocha. It is coffee, just to be clear. It's made with 100% organic Arabic coffee beans. And it does not taste like mushrooms. It's got that mushroom in there, but it does not taste like mushroom. You need to know that. And it's been long used by Buddhist monks to help them with focus during namaste, meditation. All right, so get in there, get some Four Sigmatic, and you will be more productive, focused, and creative. It's like coffee without the jitters. And the energizing effects are stabilized with dual extracted chaga mushrooms that also help support your daily immune functions. So go ahead and awaken your mind and support your well-being with Four Sigmatic. And you're going to get 15% off from our friends at Four Sigmatic. They made the special offer just for us. foursigmatic.com/twist. That's FOURSIGMATIC.com/twist. foursigmatic.com/twist. You're going to love it. Please use that promo code TWIST when you check out so you get the 15% off and so they know that you came from This Week in Startups. And if you love it, which I know you will, I want you to tweet yourself @mentionme, @mention Four Sigmatic, and let them know that you found out about it here on This Week in Startups. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode. Okay, 60 seconds. Good, I like it. We're changing it up on them. It's gonna be a little bit harder. Okay. All right, tell us your name.
My name's Nitin Borwankar.
Nitin, okay. 3, 2, 2.5, go.
I'm the founder and the CTO of Numericc, a company that applies data science to software engineering itself to produce better outcomes. You can think of us as Moneyball for software development teams. The analysis we've done on software development team output allows us to compare different performance in different teams, even if they be one small team, one large team. We extract metrics that the CFO can take to the bank. The CTO can use to look at one team and see what they're doing right and use those learnings to improve the other team. We've been doing this for about 2.5 years. We've raised $1 million so far, and we're raising $2 million seed in preparation for a Series A towards the end of next year.
Okay, let's give him a big round of applause. Next up is...
Hi, I'm Nishat. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Make.
You can take the microphone. There you go.
And,
3, 2, go.
Hi, I'm Nishat. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Make. We are an online manufacturing company. Think Airbnb for manufacturing. So we provide injection molding, industrial 3D printing, and CNC manufacturing services through a network of manufacturers spread across America. And we are printing in metals, plastics, polymers, and composites. And we're helping teams save 60 to 90% on per part cost and deliver parts in like a few days. We started in December and we have done about $15,000 in revenue over the last 3 months. And we expect an additional $20,000 of revenue this month. We are helping teams cut down product development cycles from 4 to 6 months all the way to 2 to 6 weeks in materials across the range. And these are some of the parts that we printed.
Finish your sentence, yeah.
These are some of the parts that we printed using the HP MJF machine. Teams used to print these in about $200, and now we are printing these in $25. So you can see.
Okay.
These, yeah.
Well done. Big round of applause. Okay, one more.
Hello.
3, 2, go.
Hello, my name is Martin. I'm the founder of Lifetripper. Lifetripper is a platform for travelers. Let you plan, track, share, and remember trips. This is how it works. When you travel, we track everything you do, and you can write reviews on the places you go. You can say what you like, what you don't like. When you go back, after you take pictures, you take videos, the app grabs all your memories and put in one single place your trips. Not only for you, normally you travel with other people. So it's the memories from the people who travel with you. It's a social platform, so you can share with friends and family. And when you're not traveling, you can, of course, enjoy your friends and family trips or invite them. And the magic starts when we have a lot of information. The app will learn how people behave during the trips. And if we learn that, we can help people plan their next trips, and they can book with us, and that's how we make money.
Okay, big round of applause. Okay, let's have all three come up. Numericc will be first.
4 minutes.
Sure. Numericc, I get it. You went with the classic, it's Night of the Living Dead meets Star Wars. Okay, it's zombies in space. Great, so we get it. Moneyball for software teams. You're trying to do some quantitative analysis or some analysis of coders to say who is the big contributor, who's the underappreciated contributor. How do you charge for this, and how many companies are paying?
Slight correction.
Okay.
We don't evaluate individuals because we think that the smallest...
Into the microphone.
We believe that the smallest unit of productivity is the team.
So you take
we do not
teams.
evaluate individuals.
How do you
it creates
charge?
bad incentives.
Got it. Okay. How do you charge? That's interesting. How do you charge for it? How many people are paying for it?
We are not yet generating revenue. We have a pilot with $1 billion international company.
So they are obviously broke and can't pay.
No, we haven't gotten to the point where we've asked them for money yet. We're just
Why?
we're finishing up with a pilot.
Why not ask them for money for the pilot?
I've just sent that email.
No, but why did you do an unpaid pilot? Why not ask them for money? Did they get value from it? Is your software valuable?
Partly because it's hard to ask people for their software data. So simultaneously to ask them for money, I'm happy if they give me their data so I can validate.
Okay, fair enough. What are you going to charge for it?
We're looking at, and it's a straw man, but about $1,000 per developer per year.
Great. So if they have 100 developers in 10 teams of 10, they pay you $100,000, and then you rank the 10 teams.
Yes. I mean, it's a lot more than rank. We can compute how much value they're generating per developer, per dollar,
Got it.
et cetera.
Okay, well done. Let's talk to Made. Now, the name of the company is Made?
Make M-A-K-E Incorporated.
Got it. Make Incorporated. So you have a network of people who own these printers.
Yeah.
And you have a marketplace that connects me in Albuquerque with a printer in Albuquerque?
You do not get connected to the manufacturer. We work with the manufacturer on the back end to meet your product cost and deadlines. So you interact with us, and then we go out and bid those projects.
Got it.
To manufacturers who can meet.
All right. So, and you're going to make $20,000 this month.
Yeah.
Is that the total cost of the project, of which you take 20% or 30%?
Our markup is about 100%. Our margin is 50%.
You mark it up 100%.
Right. Because
and your margin is 15%.
50.
50.
Yeah.
So somebody says it's $10,000 to make X,
Right.
and you tell the customer it's $20,000.
It's still cheaper than what they're getting right now.
But you only make 5.
No, we make 10.
Oh, you make the 10. Got it. Okay, so 50%. Got it. All right. And they're not capable of going direct to these people.
These are really hidden local machine shops in the Midwest and in the middle of nowhere. So we have found them using a lot of techniques I can probably tell you later on.
Yeah.
But we are still helping them save a lot of costs compared to local.
So the first question that comes to mind is, what's defensible about this business? Do you have exclusivity with these folks, or you don't own the machines? At some point, somebody does a $100,000 deal with you. They figure out that you made 50 and the person charged them 50. They know that person did it eventually, or they get smart and they go research people. How do you make it defensible and scalable? Have you thought about that?
So we are B2B focused. So with higher deals, we can keep a lower cut. In no case I'm going to lose a customer. So we're happy to provide really competitive prices compared to all the manufacturers they're reaching out to.
Great. So the key thing for this business, this is what we would call a dude or dudette business in the Silicon Valley, which is, hey, some dude or dudette is going to make $1 million a year off this, and over 10 years, they're going to put $10 million into their bank account and be able to buy half of a home in Silicon Valley. Amazing. Not far from the truth. And so these businesses, though, don't attract venture capitalists because they don't have the ability to get to $100 million, be super defensible, be a monopoly of some type. So that's the thing you're going to have to think about is the defensibility of it. And if at some point you should just own the printers or you have some software layer that becomes super defensible. So just think about that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a counter to that.
Great. We'll talk about it offline. Okay. It would be a good idea for you to apply to the accelerator because you have the most revenue of anybody so far.
Sure. Thank you.
Per month, at least. Okay. I didn't understand your app. Let's go through it one quick time. And it's very hard to pitch an app since, well, it's not bad. It's hard to pitch an app. So I download this app, and what problem does it solve for me?
Well, when you come back from a trip today, there's no way to remember your past trip other than your memories. Basically, you have your pictures and your wife has other pictures, and you have your Facebook post, or Instagram post, and wife has another set of posts. Mm-hmm. So the trips, it grabs all the memories and put it in one single place, Lifetripper.
So I do this on my iPhoto sharing stream.
Yes.
On photos.
Only the photos, not the social interaction.
What's an example of a social interaction?
People today, they share Facebook posts about the places they go while traveling, or Instagram, basically Instagram, or even Twitter, but Twitter is not as used.
Interesting. So we're going to go on a trip, the four of us, the three founders and me. So we're all going to go to Barcelona together. Yeah. And instead of just sharing in a photo stream or an SMS stream, we take the time to download your app and say Barcelona 2019, exactly. And we just put all our stuff there.
Yeah, it has all the geolocalization from your pictures, for example. So it shows you in the maps where you went. In future development, you will track you while you're traveling.
Got it.
So you can
How many
reviews.
people have downloaded the app so far?
Well, we have a downloadable prototype around. Okay.
So this is a perfect example of you got to know what you're up against. Social, a lot of the features he discussed, and I was challenging him on it a bit, probably overlap with what I do on messaging or photos. Maybe they overlap 50% or 90%. Maybe we could debate if it's 50 or 90. And in the venture community, in the angel community, we've all invested in and seen a large number of photo sharing, travel, and location apps. I was an investor in Gowalla and Moment, and just tons of different people who took a stab at this. When it's 10 years into the app revolution and everybody's made investments in this, I also did Wanderfly, got bought by TripAdvisor. So travel's really hard. There's a lot of big incumbent players. You need to have a solution that's 10 times better than the previous one. It can't just be twice as good. Because people will be like, you know what? This is working okay for me, right? That's why when somebody built, like Uber, was really 10 times better than calling a taxi on the phone, maybe 50 times better. And it was cheaper. So it's like better and cheaper and all these different values. For a person to displace Lyft and Uber now, they would really need to have a much better solution. And that solution might be a scooter. If you're willing to look like a dork and risk breaking your wrist, you will pay, hold on, take it easy there, Captain. You will pay $2. You took one today. You will pay $1.75 to go 1 mile or whatever. And you'll be like, I'm smart. I saved $7 and, rolled the dice to see if I got hit by a Mack truck. Great. And you're an adult, so you look like an idiot. But mazel tov if it's for you. So anyway, it really has to be something radical. And then what's the next phase? Like, okay, well, what's going to defeat a $2 scooter, a $7, a $4 Uber pool or lift line, a $7 Uber X? It's going to be VTOLs, vertical takeoff and landing, right? So it really has to get better and better. And one of the things I think you need to think about is like, what's so colossally better about what you're doing? It's got to be much better. Remember, when Instagram came out, to do photo filters required going on your desktop and buying a $395 version of Photoshop. That was what it took to make that. So it was really, even though we are like, oh, photo filters is built into the phone. Like 10 years ago was Photoshop. That was their competition. They found something 10 times better than using Photoshop. Actually, I would say it was 100 times better because it was free. And it was in your pocket. You didn't have to go to your desktop. Like both of those things, maybe it was 200 times better. How many people have used a photo filter? Raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you did photo filters in Photoshop. Right. Okay. So it was like 1/3, and this is dorks. Like 1/3 of the room is done a Photoshop. How many people have paid for Photoshop in their life? Okay. Right. The rest of you stole. Gotcha. Got the video? Okay. We know the difference. We're calling Adobe. All right. Let's give them a big round of applause.